Pokemon restocks have been insane lately, and with that, most prices for products have begun to fall back down to earth. Every Scarlet and Violet era set seems to be cooling down right now, except for one, Destined Rivals. Not only is a set that is less than 3 months old have its booster box cross the $300 mark, it has held it and it doesn't look like it's going to be dropping without a significant restock. So it got me thinking, why is Destined Rivals still going to the moon while everything else is falling? Is it the Team Rocket twist on the set, or are the cards just so valuable that the booster box just doesn't make sense under $300? Like, you can't have a $100,000 engine and a $10,000 card. Today we are looking at the top 10 most expensive Pokemon cards in Pokemon's hottest set, Destined Rivals. With this set still going to the moon at a ridiculous pace, it's really getting more and more difficult to find restocks for Destined Rivals. And it's really starting to get frustrating and difficult to rip what you want from this set. Luckily for the Degens, I have just what you need to increase your Pokemon buying abilities with the sponsor of today's video, PokeNotify. This exclusive Discord community alerts you when Pokemon restocks and drops occur by monitoring hundreds of sites 24/7 all across the globe. And today you can join the Discord for free for a 3-day trial and get 25% off of your first month by using the code FACTORY25 at checkout. Stop going in solo against the bots and the scalpers. Take advantage of this great tool and save you a ton of money and avoid the frustration. All links needed is in the description below. At number 10, we have the Team Rocket's Giovanni SIR, and this bad boy is coming in at $45.95. At release, it was coming in at $69.99 giggity. In a PSA 10, this thing does not have a population count, but it's coming in at $165. You know, this one, it's a nice card. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I just noticed I haven't pulled this card yet, and I really haven't looked at this card. I just seen the little doofus up in the right hand corner. It just made me laugh. I don't know, he looked really stupid. But this card, it is pretty nice. People are on the you know, that Giovanni looks too cartoonish, and I get it. It kind of does. He doesn't really look very menacing. You know what I mean? I get that, but I don't know. Overall, I like the coloring of this card. It reminds me of the Cassiopeia from Shrouded Fable, just the color scheme and everything. I think it's a solid card. I mean, I'm kind of surprised it's in the top 10. The PSA 10 price is also kind of surprising at $165. This one could low-key kind of be a little bit of a sleeper. At number 9, we have the Ethan's Adventure SIR, and this bad boy is coming in at $49.16. At release, this thing was coming in at $110 even. And a PSA 10, oh, okay, this thing's coming in at $218, which is pretty impressive. So just right off the bat, looking at the two lowest cards on the top 10, they're both, you know, trainers, which is, I think, is a good sign when you have trainers in the top 10. That just means, for me, that your set's pretty strong. Hopefully there's the IRs are in there, like the Psyduck and maybe even a Typhlosion, I'm not for sure, but I hope they're both in there, and then obviously the top tier SIRs. But having the trainer SIRs as your first two, to me, is a really healthy sign for the set, and it just kind of reinforces that this set is just head and shoulders above pretty much every other set, every other non-special set, let me say that. And at number 8, we have the Misty Psyduck Illustration Rare, and Misty Psyduck is coming in at $52.89, so that's pretty good there. At release, this thing was actually just coming in at $100, so it's kind of crazy to think that Ethan was selling for more than this, but it plummeted down to $52.77, so I guess it's not too much of a plunge. It's just been trading sideways. This is a really solid card. Let's see what this bottom here is. $51.64, so nothing crazy. And a PSA 10, now that's interesting. That's interesting. The PSA 10 is coming at $275 with no population count, but it's pretty close to that Ethan, so I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought this card would do way better in a 10. This one's a no-brainer. It's a top tier IR. I think even at $50, it's probably a little undervalued. Like, if the Magic, I understand the Magic card with the artist and all that. I get that one being as high as it is. The Seismitoad is a fugaze, but it is what it is. This one is definitely a top tier. I don't think that this one should be more than like the T-Tar from Paldea Evolved, or the Groudon from Paradox. But it's definitely, I would think this is probably a top 5 IR for sure in the era. At number 7, we have the Gold Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, and this bad boy is coming in at $65.21. This is incredible, honestly. And it started out at $167.50. So obviously it plummeted a lot. It's lost $100, but the fact that this gold was this high and this gold is still $65. This is incredible because the golds don't normally do this, right? Like, this is all new to us because golds usually don't hold the value like this. No one ever really cares about golds, even though they're probably the hardest thing to pull. This is incredible. This is something to see. I'm curious on this graded price. Okay, the graded, and a PSA 10 is coming at 258, no pop count, of course, but okay, it's less than the Misty Psyduck, but it's still up there. I mean, this has got to be the most expensive golden era just off the top of my head, right? Maybe we need to look at golds because, you know, with the mega, it looks like golds are going to be a really big part of that era, and this kind of seems like it's the start of it. I love the golds. It kind of had, this gold kind of feels like a sword and shield gold with the background, but with the, I don't know, it feels like a sword and shield gold, honestly. Like, the background feels like a sword and shield gold, if that makes sense. This card's really nice. I'm shocked that it's this high. And is this the new norm? Are golds the new chase? So far, the answer is yes, but obviously that Charizard and Gengar from Phantasma Flames might change that. But if we get those two in gold, those would probably be more, right? At number 6, we have the Team Rocket's Crobat EX SIR, and this bad boy is coming in at $77.43. At release, it was coming in at $169.99 giggity. In a PSA 10 though, it's a $263 card with no pop count. So again, so far, it is less than the Misty Psyduck. So the Misty Psyduck is the highest PSA 10 we've looked at so far. Obviously, that's not gonna hold true just because the raw prices of these cards are higher than the PSA 10 price, but it's something I think that is an interesting thing to look at, how that IR in a 10 is holding up more than these SIRs. So that's something I don't want to say keep an eye on, but it's just fascinating to me that that card is holding up that well. This card here is one of the best artworks in the set. I know a lot of people, this is their chase card. It's interesting that they use this Pokemon and this style artwork for this card. I'm glad they did. It looks phenomenal. I mean, it's obviously, you know, it's a respectable card. I don't want to say, I was going to say that maybe it's a forgettable card, but I'm trying to say it in like not a mean way, if that makes sense. I don't want to say forgettable, but it's like you almost forget that this card's in the set, I guess, if that makes sense, because of everything that's in it, is what I'm trying to say. I wasn't trying to like disrespect the card, just like you almost forget that it's in the set. At number 5, we had the Team Rocket's Nidoking EX, and this bad boy is coming in at $102.95. At release, this bad boy is coming in at $150 even. In a PSA 10, this thing's coming in at $410. This is one of my favorite SIRs from not just this set, but the entire era. Just like a low-key one of my favorites. I'm not a huge Nidoking fan or anything, but just the color scheme. You got Giovanni in the background. I think this one is a sleeper. And at $410 in a 10, that's insane to even think about this card being that high. Obviously, this is the most expensive PSA 10 in this set so far, and we're at number 5, so something to keep an eye on. I think that this card, for one, this is one I want for my personal collection for sure. I love this card. It is a really, really nice card, and part of the reason why this set's so expensive, I'd say. At number 4, we have the Ethan's Ho-Ho EX SIR. This bad boy's coming at $153.74. At release, it was $189.99. In a PSA 10, $511. So just as we're creeping up into the big 4, we left the number 5, which was the highest up to this point. Now this is the highest, which I guess we're just gonna see that trend continue if I had to guess. Man, we pulled this the other day. This is one of my favorite cards of the era. Ho-Oh, like, it feels like Ho-Oh never gets any love, but man, they absolutely cooked with this card. I love this card. It's one of my favorite SIRs in the entire era. Again, this is definitely a reason why this set is so expensive right now and so sought after, and why people are grabbing this before almost every other set right now, besides something like 151, especially if it's Blooming Waters. But for the most part, dude, every time I see restocks, the Destined Rivals is gone, and this is one of the reasons. Is this top 5 of this set? Honestly, even the top 10 in general is just really good, and pull rates are pretty good too. At number 3, we have the Team Rocket's Moltres EX SIR, and this bad boy is coming at $160.77. We're gonna look at this again here in a minute, and it came out at $400. And a PSA 10 is $519, so we've kept that streak going where the next card is more expensive in a PSA 10. I know usually I click on this card, but I want to check the price on this because obviously we just had the new Team Rocket Moltres EX UPC announced, and obviously this card is stamped in that box. And one of the, I don't want to say arguments, but maybe just curiosity of all of us degens is what's going to happen to this card. And a lot of people have told me, and I've seen a lot of people say, you might not really see that much of a difference on this card. You might see an initial kind of drop just because people bringing the price down and then it spiked back up, because they are two separate cards. At the end of the day, if you want to master Destined Rivals, you still need this card and you need the stamped card at the end of the day. So, and as we've seen with like Journey Together, for example, which is the only one that we really have a stamped card and then the regular card in the set, really hasn't done that much to the two, if I'm being honest. I think the stamp's going to be more, obviously, but it's hard to say if the stamp's going to be more. Because if this is $160, this is something to think about too. If this is $160 the way it is, and that box is going to be $120, that card is instantly going to make that box $160 at least, right? And then you throw the stamp on top of that. People's gonna be trying to sell this thing for like $250, $300 right out the rip, bro. It's gonna be an absolute bloodbath, man. I really hope a lot of people get this. I hope they print this thing into the ground, because I think that box is by far the best UPC they've ever done, and I really, really hope as many degens get a chance that they're, you know, getting their hands on this box, because it's incredible. If I could, I'd buy 10 cases of this thing. It's one of my favorite products they've come out with in the past 7 years. At number 2, we have the Cynthia's Garchomp EX SIR, and this bad boy is coming in at $209.31. In a PSA 10, again, we break that trend, coming in at $583 with no pop count. I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards. This is my favorite card in the set by far. So I know a lot of people like the Mewtwo, they like the Crobat, they like the Ho-Ho, which I love the Ho-Ho as well. For me, it's Cynthia's Garchomp, Ho-Ho, then probably the Moltres, then the Mewtwo. I still love the Mewtwo. I just think this set is that good. Like the SIR wise of this set, it is top tier. I'll put this set up against any other set, and this is why. This top 5 is just ridiculous, and this one right here really takes it over the edge. I am a big Garchomp guy, so maybe that's got something to do with it, and I do, you know, Cynthia, she's easy on the eyes, so I understand that too. But, you know, I think this card has the potential to really catapult up there. And at number 1, we have the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX SIR. And the Macy's Day Parade Mewtwo is coming in at $344.19. At release, this thing was coming in at a whopping $800, which is unbelievable. In a PSA 10, this thing's pretty much coming in at $1,000 with no population count. I've had multiple degens sell this for over $1,000, so just keep that in mind. I mean, look, like I said, I just kind of gave you my order, but this card, I think it gets some hate. The color, maybe I'm a sucker for the colors. I am a big color guy. Like, colors just kind of, they get me. But at the end of the day, it does look like a Macy's Day Parade that Giovanni, like, he sponsored one of the, you know, the floats in the parade, and he's just, you know, taking his float down Main Street or whatever they're at. But, you know, it is a really nice card. I don't think any of these cards in this set will flip it as much hate as this card gets. And I shouldn't say hate. Maybe, I think people just thought it was going to be better. You know, like, I feel like a lot of people was thinking they was going to do a test tube Mewtwo type deal again, which I get it, but, and, you know, it's almost like, I don't know, for my Marvel people, it's kind of like the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Like, that movie's not that bad, but everybody had their so crazy expectations of what was going to happen that once that didn't happen, they were just like, nah, it sucks. And I kind of feel like that's what happened with the Mewtwo, is expectations were so high for this thing, and what people visioned it to be didn't happen. And that's what turned people away. But I think this card is going to age really well. All right, boys and girls, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below if something that you didn't know, or maybe you're like, man, that is why Destined Rivals is costing so much right now. This top 10 is just ridiculous. Hoping I'm releasing this on August the 23rd. I am doing a Discord fantasy football league with a Pokemon twist. So if you want to check that out, make sure you join the Discord. The link for that will be down below. It's going to be a $25 buy-in, but all the money goes towards draft position packs as well as prizes for first, second, and third place. So make sure you check that out if you like football, you like Pokemon, or if you just want to hang out with some other degens. join the Discord. And of course, like I said in the beginning of the video, definitely check out PokeNotify, man. They are absolutely crushing it right now. If you haven't already, follow them on Instagram. Just that alone can change how you're getting product, but definitely join the Discord. I'm telling you, it pays for itself with one purchase, and then the rest of the month you're just stockpiling Pokemon. I mean, it really is. Obviously, some things are luck based, like this Costco drop. You know, I was like 20,000th in line and I didn't get something. But this other Costco drop, I ended up being like 8,000 in line and I ended up getting something. So, you know, just cause some of that stuff, it is what it is. But this exclusive stuff that there's not schedules for, PokeNotify knocks it out of the park. So definitely check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support. If you're new here, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a good day. I don't know how to end this, so Poke Factory out. Peace.